Do you long for a thriving marriage and want a reminder of the 5 most important practices that will help you create and continue to grow a thriving marriage? Join me for today's episode. Hi, I'm Julia Woods, and I'm a wife of 30 plus years, and I am passionate about marriage. When my marriage almost fell apart, I learned a lot that I didn't know about creating a thriving marriage. Since that time, I've become a couples coach and trainer and now help spouses just like you learn from my mistakes so you can hopefully avoid the suffering that I did and grow the marriage you long for. If you want to continue on this journey, click that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Let's look at the first reminder, which is your becoming is the most important thing you can do to grow a thriving marriage. But what does that even mean? Well, humans are a continual becoming. We are always becoming. We're becoming more patient, or we're becoming more angry. We're becoming more kind, or we're becoming more resentful. We're becoming a generous listener, or we're becoming more judgmental. We're always a becoming. And if you become those things of being positioned and, self-protection, you're going to go in the opposite direction of a thriving marriage. But if you're growing those things that are of great character, that are of life-giving character, like patience and kindness and generous listening, you're going to grow a greater thriving every year in your marriage. But growing these life-giving characters require intention. It doesn't happen by accident. And your willingness to grow your character is the greatest gift you can give your marriage. By nature, we focus on who we want our spouse to become, right? We're like, you should be more patient. You should be more kind. But your willingness to recognize that the only thing you have the power to grow is you. And your marriage by what you grow in yourself. When you're willing to focus on the becoming in yourself, growing the character traits you long for in your marriage, and they show up in your marriage through you, you will have the character traits you long for in your marriage, and you will have been a vessel of them. The second reminder is conflict is for growth. Do you long for growth in your marriage? I want to remind you what Joseph Campbell says when he says, the cave we fear to enter lies the treasure that we seek. Now, it's easy to think that conflict is bad and it's a sign that, we're doing something wrong. But entering that conflict, we're afraid to enter it because it's scary. We don't know what the outcome is. We tell ourselves we don't know what to say. We're scared of how our spouse is going to respond. But if you will enter that cave and really work through the conflict, you will experience the treasure that you long for. Think about it. Nature shows us this all around. If you look at nature, all growth happens through tension. Anything that grows like a tree, the reason it grows is because the root breaks through a tension in the soil, the clay or a rock or some hard place in the soil. That's what produces growth in the tree. We're no different. Conflict is not your enemy. It is your friend. Learning to turn conflict into connection is vital for a thriving marriage. The third practice that creates a thriving marriage is negotiate everything. Is your definition of a thriving marriage include partnership where you and your spouse come together because you know together is better than either of you individually? Think about it. When you're together and united in doing something or producing something or creating something or coming up with a solution or developing a new concept that neither of you have ever worked with before, like how do you raise a child, right? 2 people are better than 1. You have double the ideas, double the wisdom, double the creativity. This is partnerships. Partners negotiate because they see great value in each other's perspectives, each other's views, each other's ideas. And It moves the two of you away from my way or your way into our way. It creates a win-win for everyone. Think about it. Even your children need both of you. There is a beauty that comes together when mom's way and dad's way can be united to create our way. It's so powerful for everyone involved. This creates the union that's needed to run a household, raise those uniquely different children, build your dreams, and grow a life and future worth having. The fourth practice that's vital for a thriving marriage is weekly partner in life. Building a marriage that you long for and a life that you long for, it does not magically happen. Negotiating takes time. It takes consistency. It takes intention. And this needs to happen on a weekly basis. My invitation actually comes from Jordan Peterson, where he says what makes a family work, what makes a marriage work, is when a couple will meet every week for at least 1 hour to talk about their life matters. You know, there's so many decisions that need to be made in life. There's so many things that need to be moved forward. You know, we need to sell this car. We need to get a new one. We need to, change neighborhoods. We need to figure out what school our children are going to. We need to discuss what happens, what works about our negotiating style, what doesn't work about our negotiating style, what's working about how we are resolving conflict. All of these things need negotiated consistently. And this needs to be done in a weekly fashion where you consistently gather together. My husband and I have started doing this, and I am amazed at how much we're getting accomplished. Every meeting we create action steps that each of us commit to do that week. And then we come back together the next week and we check in, we take accountability for how we did our action steps, and we move a project gradually forward to completion. And right now we have 3 or 4 projects that we're working on that, in years past, we spent years kicking the can down the street of things we said we need to do or we need to talk about. Now, every Monday night we meet for 90 minutes and we have the conversations needed to create the life we long for. It is powerful. The fifth and final practice of a thriving marriage is keep playing. You likely fell in love with each other while playing and laughing together. And, as humans, all work and no play makes for a dull marriage. And when I'm talking about play, I'm not talking about one of those cliche dates where you keep going to the same restaurant, you order the same thing, you ask the same questions. No, I'm talking about playing and laughing that evolves through the seasons of life. Right? Like, what was making you laugh and felt playful to the two of you as you were dating? That's likely very different than what is going to make you laugh and feel playful when you're working through the newborn phase. Growing a consistent pattern and practice of laughing and playing fun is vital. One of the things I invite you to do is to make a weekly playtime where each of you trade off planning 30 minutes, just 30 minutes to play together each week, where each of you lead. What could I do this week that would create some laughter for both of us, create some fun for both of us? And I encourage you to allow no excuses. You do not need babysitters. You do not need money. You do not need more time. I promise you that no matter what your lives look like, I work with couples from around the world, and often one couple is living overseas or one couple is stationed out of town, right? And they can still find a way to meet online and lead 30 minutes of laughter and play that both of them vitally need. It's like nurturing the soil that life can grow out of, a rich life, a rich marriage can grow out of. And so I invite you to weekly find 30 minutes to play and laugh together. And if you need help getting started, in the description underneath this video, you will find a link to a free PDF that will give you 50 ideas of playtime and 50 ideas of conversations that you can start with each other. It's called 100 Deeper Connection Prompts and Ideas, and it's waiting for you free in the description under this video. So as we recap this lesson, the 5 habits that unlock and keep a marriage thriving is your becoming is most important. Conflict is for your growth. Negotiate everything. Weekly partner in life and keep playing together. I would love to hear which one of these reminders you most needed to hear today or you're most ready to implement. Would you share that with me in the comments below? And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Hey, hon.
Yeah.
Which of these practices do you think is most vital for you in a thriving marriage?
I love the play, but I put more emphasis on the negotiation of everything. Allows the not to have the mentality that she always gets her way or he always gets his way. It's a negotiation, so there's both buy-ins.
Both people have a voice.
Correct.